hilarious. Did you get one?
Avocado? I'll take avocado. And black coffee, just black. Okay.
You don't want cream?
No cream.
Yeah, really good creamer.
Yeah, I don't like creamer. I'm too self-conscious. If I have creamer, I'll think I'm fat.
What? I love creamer. Creamer was like flavored creamers was like the best thing to happen to coffee ever.
So I said the way I am, I don't know why I'm like that, but if I eat something that I believe I shouldn't eat or drink, I will literally see a different person in my body. And it just and I'll start working out twice a day. I'll start fasting. I'll start reading different books on fitness, and I'll take like a trip somewhere to go get zenned out again. Like that's how intense I get.
Do you have like body dysmorphia?
I don't think I have body dysmorphia. I think I'm just so, I have like deep wounds of like insecurities and low self-worth that are always there. So anything that makes me question how I look or feel, it hits that wound. A lot of people don't think I'm insecure, but I'm like super insecure.
Yeah. So I'm the same way about like food and how it affects me, but I do not have the discipline to not do it. Like I'd be like, yes, creamer, load it up. Like I just will eat the shit anyways. So anyways, okay, well, we'll jump in. Hi guys. Hi. My name's Jenny. How do you guys know each other?
I met Fausto through Brandon. Did Brandon ever come on the show?
No, he hasn't yet.
Yeah, so Brandon knows Fausto. I don't know. I don't really know how Brandon knows Fausto, but Brandon connected me to Fausto 2 years ago, I think.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3.
Mike and Phil how do you say his last? How do you say Chief's last name?
Aguilar.
Aguilar, yeah. So Fausto and Chief are like that, and Chief does everything at his house. Like there's so much going. Like Chief practically
recovery stuff.
Yeah, Chief practically has the Orange County recovery community live at his house.
All right. Okay.
That's just what goes on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. So today we have Fausto, aka Hope Dealer. I love that that's even on your screen name for Riverside. Hi, Fausto. Thank you for being with us.
No, yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm like, oh, hold on, I got my hot sauce coming in.
Do you have a burrito going on right now?
I know, right?
If anybody, why are both of you ripped? Where are you? Where are you looking?
She goes, why are both of you ripped?
Another ripped tattoo guy just floated behind him along with some hot sauce. Are you in a sober living? No. What's happening? Hi. Is that a sober living?
He's the girl in the relationship.
I'm the girl in the relationship. No, it's just one of
I just do the cooking.
He just does the cooking. No, it's one of my buddies who's also in recovery. I just came by to hang out, and I was like, hey, can I use your place to do this podcast? He's like,
oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad he's letting you do that.
Yeah.
So if you guys aren't watching, go back 20 seconds ago and watch hot sauce and ranch dressing and then a ripped tatted guy walk across the screen. That was super entertaining.
This is what happens once you get past 5 years of sobriety. You have assistants that come in your life and they just hand you food.
And then just give you ranch and hot sauce. So I'm excited to hear your story. Why don't you back us up from the very beginning and let us know, where you're from and how you got started using?
Yeah. So I grew up in Orange County, California. And a part of my story is I grew up with a narcissistic father. So coming home was like walking on eggshells, right? It's never safe. What happened was growing up in that way of living, I learned to live outside of my house to just kind of avoid being home. And because I've always wanted a male figure in my life, I would gravitate towards the older boys. And so, just having fun, doing my thing. And this is where I experienced being sexually abused by one of the boys. So that was where the first, I guess I'd say my second trauma. First one's growing up with a narcissistic father. And then the second one would be getting sexually abused. And the problem with that, though, for me, when I look back, was it wasn't like it was a bad thing. Because to me, it was the first time I felt seen, heard, and understood. I don't know what's going on as a kid, but I was like, oh, wow, I feel super important. This is something I don't get at home. So I went with it. And it was the next day when the boy went back to bullying me is where I determined that, well, whatever happened must have been my fault because he's treating me differently.
Oh. And
so I said, how do I not feel this again? And so I discovered I can be a people pleaser, a know-it-all, the funny guy, to and manipulate to avoid rejection. And so I grew that there, did it through elementary school, kept the secret because in my head it's my fault. And what that led me to learn is, if I make people laugh, they care about me. If I do something extreme like a stunt or something from the Jackass show, people give me attention. And so I lived that lifestyle through middle school. And in middle school, I was like, okay, cool. We have a bunch of new kids coming to one school. What am I going to do? So I said, I know I'm going to be a punk rocker. I'm going to be a punk rock kid in 7th grade. People really not like that. We're the outcast. Did that, got a bunch of attention, and I was like, cool, I'm fixed. And then the next thing that came into my life was love, right? First crush, 7th grade, girl likes me, or I think she likes me. I like her. And I was like, sweet, like this is life. Somebody cares about me. Someone's showing me attention and affection, and everything is good. But then it wasn't until the relationship ended, maybe 2 months later, where then I determined that she must have broke up with me because I was sexually abused by a male.
Even though no one knew. Did you tell her?
No, I didn't tell her, but in my head, I just felt like maybe she knows and there's something about me that's not manly enough.
Did you tell anyone when it happened? You didn't tell anybody. You didn't tell like an adult or anything like that. Okay. And how old were you when that happened?
7.
Okay. And now you're in middle school and someone breaks up with you and you think somehow she must have known.
Correct. Because from that moment happened, from 7 years old to middle school, I was questioning my sexuality. Because, if it felt right and it was my fault, then maybe that's where I'm supposed to go. But, but I didn't know. So once that happens, it kind of just made that fear. Okay, maybe it's because I'm not supposed to be with women. She saw something. She knows something. What do I do? So that happened right before summer break. And so then summer break, I said, okay, how do I fix this? I'm going to get piercings and I'm going to change up my whole style again. Maybe this will fix me. And then I started working out. So now I get in shape in the summer break. I get a piercing in my ear and I have this new look. Go into 8th grade and I meet a girl. So I thought in my head, okay, I solved the case. This is what I needed to change. I got the girl. So I'm like, I'm fixed. The problem again, though, as soon as that ended, within 2 to 3 months, she left me and she ended up with one of my friends. So to me, I was like, okay, she must know I was sexually abused. That's why she left me. And my friend must be more manlier than me. That's what a man is. Because look what happened. So then go into summer break before 9th grade. The same thing, right? I'm like, how do I fix this? So I said, I got it. I'm going to be a skateboarder and I'm going to get tattoos. Changed my whole style. I'm a skateboarder now. I got tattoos.
In 8th grade?
Going into 9th grade, yeah.
How did you get a tattoo when you were 13 or 14?
Somebody I knew that skateboarded had a tattoo gun,
Oh, that sounds safe. Oh, that's
and,
good.
Okay. and yeah, now, I was like, oh, tattoo me. Like I want to do, because in my head, I'm thinking like, dude, this would fix me. Like imagine a 14-year-old kid with tattoos, like at the locker room, like everyone's going to want to be my friend.
What was your first tattoo? I have to know. What was the first thing that you got?
So it's covered up now. It used to be on this arm. It was a Picasso-looking face, a Buddha belly with tentacles like an octopus, had a skateboard in one hand, a remote control in the other hand, and it was super lopsided and crooked, and it had a crown that had the letter F for Fausto.
Okay. What was the significance of all of those things? Did you design that or did the guy?
No idea.
Okay. All right.
Wait. Were you stoned when you done this, Fausto? Were you like, did you smoke weed and get this tattoo?
I got the tattoo. I was drinking.
Okay, because that sounds like something I would get if I was like really high, like smoking weed, like
Totally.
that just like a video game controller, a skateboard, like probably got the munchies going on. That just sounds like something I would do.
You're like, give him a belly and like a skateboard, man.
Yeah. And tentacles and like Buddha because of peace and probably,
Yeah. No, yeah, actually, I hated weed. So, I mean, I could totally see why your mind would go there, but I always hated weed. And so, like, my thing was drinking.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And we'll get into that part. So basically, I'm dating this girl, and because, I'm a skateboarder now, I got a tattoo. I'm like, look at me. And now I'm like, cool, I'm fixed. Like, this is the style. I'm good. And then what happened is she broke up with me over winter break because my friend told her I cheated on her. And so now I'm kind of like, wait, why would my friend lie about that? And then she's believing him over me. I get it. She must know I was sexually abused by a male.
Oh my God.
That's why. Like, this has to be why. Thank you. That all this is happening. What I did at this point was, okay, how do I stop going to school now? Because I just couldn't handle all like the physical changes, the style changes, all that wasn't working. And I can't tell nobody. And so I go, I got it. I'm going to fake my death. So this is when YouTube came out. So this is MySpace. YouTube came out. I've been editing videos since I was in elementary school because I was a real shy, insecure, like nerdy kid. People didn't know that, but I was always into making videos, but it wasn't cool to make videos back in the early 2000s. So when YouTube came out, I put a video of me in a car crash, put Incubus music to it, had like, rest in peace, here it is, all these pictures of me. And again, I did out of ignorance. I was just like, cool, this will get me out of class. Everyone shows up to my house. I open the door and people are like, fuck you, dude.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh shit, my bad. Like I didn't realize like how serious that was. So that doesn't work.
It's a crime. Did you get in trouble like legally?
I didn't get in trouble legally, luckily.
Okay.
Like probably nowadays.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know.
Anyways, okay.
My second idea was like, okay, that didn't work. Right? I just kind of brushed it off. Okay, that didn't work. I go, I got it. I think if I hear voices to kill people, they'll tell me I can go home. So I told my teacher, hey, I'm hearing voices to kill people.
Oh my God.
She goes, oh, really? I go, yeah. She goes, okay, yeah, let's go to the office. I'm like, yes. They take me to the doctors. I'm like, oh, yeah, let's go to the doctors. That's cool. And then they 5150 me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so, and I'm like, no, I'm kidding. I'm not crazy. You never say you're not crazy when you're going to the mental institution.
For sure. Totally.
They're like, oh, yeah, definitely. Sir, you need to calm down. I'm like, I'm not crazy. I'm kidding. I was lying.
No.
So they give me the butt juice, knockout, drive me to San Diego. So I go to your guys' area out there towards you guys. Go to San Diego, and I have my experience there. And I remember when I was there, it was funny. I was like, I walk in. It's like different rooms. You have 2 roommates. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, okay. Like, I'm like, how do I get out? And the kids are like, you just got to pretend like you're getting less crazy. I go, really? These are like, it's kind of like substance abuse treatment center, right? So some people are like regulars. So they're like, yeah, bro, we're here all the time. This is what you do. And I was like, okay, because what happened was when I got there, the first thing was I was like crying, I'm not crazy. And they extended me from a 5150 to a 5250.
Oh, no.
So I was like, okay. So I asked my roommate, like, what are you in here for? And we're kids. We're like, I don't know. They're probably like 13, 14, 15-year-old kids. And my roommate goes, oh, I tried shooting up my school. I go, wow. I go, okay, cool, man.
Oh my God.
I go to my other roommate. I go, what are you in here for? He goes, I tried stabbing my mom to death. I go,
oh my God.
Wow. They go, what are you in here for? I'm like, I'm hearing voices to kill people, guys. They're like, oh yeah, we get it. I was like, yeah.
Oh so what were your parents thinking this whole time as you got a tattoo and you fucking got 5150? Like, did they come see you in the hospital? What was your parental involvement in your life?
So yeah, my dad wasn't around. He was, narcissistic. My mom left him. He's a cheater. He's abusive. So my mom left him fully when I was in 7th grade, which I was stoked for. We never got along. To him, I think because he used to be like that, maybe why he kind of was very hard on me. But with my mom, she was just so innocent, and I would just take out my anger on my mom, the hatred I had towards my dad, taking my mom. So for my mom, I was like, it's your fault, Mom. Blaming her. She's crying. I made her feel bad. I was like, I don't want to fucking talk to you. I always just blamed her because, again, I couldn't be honest with how I felt because I didn't know what I felt or how to communicate it. And so I would just take it out on her. So I put my mom through hell. Let's just say that. And so what happens is I get out the 5150. They tell me you don't have to go to school no more. I get my wish. And so I'm stoked. 9th grader, I don't have to go to class no more. It was like heaven. And so because of that, I was able to drink and not have to go to school.
So, okay, but you had to go to like night school or alternative school or something, right?
They
were allowing you at 14 to just quit?
Just packets of work.
Oh, okay.
So I'd pick it up, but literally like it's probably like 1st grade homework. It was crazy how easy it was.
Right. Okay.
So I get these packets. This is when I start drinking because I'm like, I don't have to go to school. And for me, drinking made me confident. It made me secure. It made me not give a fuck what people thought. It made me forget about my past. And I felt connected to people. So to me, I was like, drinking was created for me to live life because I've been wanting to kill myself my whole life.
Me too.
That's a thought process going through my head. And so drinking made me want to live. It wasn't a bad thing. So I said, cool, how do I keep on drinking? Right. So, steal it, ask homeless people, innocent, having fun, drinking, smoking, hated it, made me paranoid, started getting into ecstasy. I was like, oh, this is tight. You can do dance all night, have fun, doing that stuff. And then what happens is we end up moving from OC to LA. And I was stoked because I was like, cool, like my older guy cousin I could look up to lives in LA. I'm going to live with him. He skateboards. They drink. They party, right? The whole piss drunk scene in skateboarding. And I'm living the best life until my cousin got into the gang life. So after about 3 months of having fun in ninth grade, living with my cousin and my family out there, he gets in the gang life. And so I'm like, oh, cool. What do you guys do? Oh, we do cocaine. All right. So I started doing coke, started smoking crack, and then I started smoking meth. And then once I started smoking meth, that's when things started getting a little dark. So I'm a 14-year-old kid smoking meth. And then I ended up getting, molested for 6 months by my mother's friend.
Oh, no.
Smoking meth. But the part that it was always hard to share was when I was smoking meth, going to this place, when it happened, it didn't feel wrong, right? So, because in my head, it happened to me as a kid. When I'm on meth, I don't realize how meth makes you feel. Meth makes everybody super horny. You just want to fuck everything. But I don't know that as this 14-year-old kid, right? I'm just like, oh, what are these feelings that are happening? And oh, this guy's, touching me, but it feels right. Well, this happened to me as a kid. And okay, so what happened was I was so caught up in that scenario that I would go back every day to let it happen.
Oh my gosh.
Until I realized that the meth was fucking me up. And I said, what's happening? And they're like, bro, you can't be smoking meth every day. Like, it's not like a thing like weed, or it's not like cocaine or ecstasy. So when I started to sober up, that's when it got really weird, because I thought it was my fault. I was like, I can't stop going back, because if I stop going back, he's going to tell my mom. That's how I thought as a kid. So kept on going back with a sober mind, and it got really, really weird because, I'm like aware of everything. Like, this is so wrong. So then I remember, luckily, my mom was like, hey, we're moving back to Orange County. And I was like, dude, yes. So get out of that situation. Now I'm in Orange County as a 15-year-old kid. And again, still doing homeschooling. And I just become the party guy. Hey, guys, you can drink. I got the ecstasy. We can get some cocaine. Let's do beer pong. Whatever it is. You can sleep at my place. We know all the cool parties. We could do some DJing, go to raves, go to concerts. And I did that from 15 to 18. And then at 18, I got arrested. I overdosed on 20 pills of ecstasy. At that point, that's when my mom knew I was doing drugs. Because again, she was so gullible, right? She was so gullible. So I had to go to court for 2 years for that. Basically what happened is my friends were breaking into houses while I was starting to overdose. So when they tried to grab me to help me, I was gone. So they ran. I fell down a ditch, woke up in the hospital, handcuffed to the bed, because I guess apparently I was trying to masturbate to the nurses. I was so out of my mind. I didn't do that. So they had to handcuff me. So I'm handcuffed to this hospital bed. I see my mom and I'm like, I'm fucked. Like, she knows.
Yeah.
So that calmed me down. I was like, cool, I got to stop doing this stuff. This is not me. I calmed down. I'm going to court for 2 years. And then I'm like, okay, started working out again, get a job at a skate shop. Like, I'm chilling. And then I hear about steroids. I'm like, oh, what's this? Bro, you want to take steroids? I'm like, how do you do it? It's like, let me show you. So I was like, cool, let's do it. So now I'm like 200 pounds, yoked, working at a skate shop, get a girlfriend, right? Living my best life again. I'm like, sick. I'm with her from 18 to about 21. So now, we're legal to drink, having fun. And then I end up getting cheated on multiple times with my friends she was cheating on me with. And I look back, I deserved it. I look back like I was toxic as hell. But at the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it happened again. Like I got cheated on now. And with my friends, she must know I was molested and sexually abused. She must notice something in me. I'm not meant to be with women. I'm broken. It's my fault. Everybody's just going to figure out. So I self-destruct. I try killing myself. I'm having a couple seizures a day from cocaine induced, drinking like crazy, leave my job, stop showing up, get fired. And again, just something inside of me just knew like, okay, I need to stop. And I need to figure this out because at this point, my mom got cancer. So my mom gets, cancer. She's going to start chemo. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, what the hell's going on? Because I take care of my mom and my sister, basically. So then right when my mom gets cancer, she loses her job. So now I'm like, oh, shit. I got to like grow up quick now because how are we going to pay the bills? So again, I clean up my act. I start working out again. I get the GQ model look now. I become a server, I become a bartender, I become a DJ. And now I'm like, okay, now I'm living my best life. Like I'm making a lot of money bartending. I'm DJing, throwing hip hop events, graffiti artist events. I got DJs, all this cool stuff. And again, I meet a girl, 22 years old. Okay, I got the best life now. Everybody wants to date a DJ bartender. Like it's just, amazing. And so I'm doing that, working at the House of Blues and the VIP Lounge, Lucky Strike, Rams Bar, and going to Vegas now, going to cruises. Like everything is cool. But then, of course, I think the addiction in me starts to come out. So obviously I am toxic. I'm toxic. She's toxic. It ends really bad. She cheats on me with her coworker. I find out. I'm driving down Imperial Highway, 150 miles per hour, trying to kill myself, screaming. And at this point, I was like, dude, I can't handle this no more. Like, everybody hurts me because they know what happened to me.
Oh my God.
So I tried killing myself 3 times. I had 30 grand mal seizures in 1 month. They were so bad, I don't remember days. I had like swelling on my face. Like, I'm surprised I'm alive. And then that's when I reached out to somebody. I was like, bro, I'm going to fucking kill myself. Like, how did you change your life? And he opened up the Bible. And what I heard was that God gives his strongest battles to his strongest warriors. And for me, it was the first time in 25 years that I looked at every bad thing that happened to me as a good thing. I was like, wow, so I got molested and abused because I was strong enough to help out other people who've been molested and abused. I grew up with abandonment and neglect because I can help out people with abandonment and neglect. You know, my mom had cancer because now I understand what it's like to walk through someone's cancer to be there for other people. I've been cheated on to know what it's like to be cheated on, so I never do that to anybody. You know, it was like everything was coming together. My depression, my anxiety, my codependency, my insecurities, you know, all this was making sense. And so I just felt something and I went, okay, how do I keep this feeling? And I remember a TV show where a fireman went to AA. So I went, oh, there's this thing called AA. Like, I'm just going to check it out. Like, I look it up, find one in Fullerton. I go, okay, 11:30 tomorrow on a Monday. I'll be there. Show up. And, you know, I don't know how it works. I never heard about it. I didn't even know about treatment centers or nothing. I'm sitting there and, you know, they're like, any newcomers? And I'm like, is that me? Am I a newcomer? They're like, yeah. Do you want to share? I'm like, okay. They're like, go to the podium. And I share everything I share with you
Oh
for
my
the
God.
first time. And then somebody said, me too. And it was those magical words when I heard me too, that for me, I knew that God was telling the truth when he said there was pain in my purpose. And so for the past 6 years, I just went insane with telling everybody my story. 6 years ago, I put my story on Instagram and Facebook before a lot of people were doing that. I was doing the Recover Out Loud thing a long time ago.
Yeah. So that's it. That's your like clean date is that day?
October 22nd, 2017. Yeah.
Oh my God. So at 25, just the person reading that Bible verse to you, that was that.
That's what gave me the feeling. Whoa, what is this? Because of the TV show I've been watching, that's how I knew to go to AA the next day. But I never knew about recovery. I went in, I shared my story for the first time. Someone said me too, made me think there is purpose to my pain. So I got to put it on Facebook and Instagram because everybody needs to know they're not alone. Yeah. And then that's how I started the journey. And then I just started blowing up everywhere because nobody was doing that back then. It wasn't like everybody was like, whoa, dude. But I had people from Japan, India, I mean, like all over the place contacting me. And I just ran with it.
So, well, is your mom okay? First of all, did she make it through cancer?
So she beat it that time. She got it again when I was sober.
Okay.
She did beat it, but so there's a lot that happened in the 6 years, and we can break it down little by little. But she beat it when I was in my addiction, but I was a piece of shit. I didn't go to any of her treatments. I pushed her down physically, and she hit her head on concrete because I wanted to get high over her chemo. So I was a piece of shit to her. So I think when I had 8 months sober and I was getting ready to go on a road trip, you know, and I was like, God, this is so cool. Road trip. I'm fasting for 8 days. I'm not eating. I'm going to drive to Louisiana basically and like just meditate everywhere and help people. Right. The day I was leaving, she goes, hey, my cancer's back. I got to do chemo again. And I remember being like, this is the worst news for me to go with on this trip. She said, you can go. I'm fine right now. We're going to find out more. And when I got back and she started her treatment, she fell out at the Brea Mall and the ambulance had to get her and rush her to the hospital. And I remember in that moment I'm driving, I probably had 9 months sober and I was pissed. I was like, fuck you, God. I get fucking clean and sober to make it right. And you're going to kill her? Like, how am I ever going to, I only have 9 months. I didn't get to make it up to her for everything I've done to her. And God goes, now you can sit there for every single treatment and be there with her. Think about that. And so I did. And she did beat it a year later.
Oh, wow. Okay. So she's still with us.
Yeah, she's still with us.
Okay, because this is what I wanted to ask. When you revealed your history of being molested, was she like, oh my God, I can't believe you never told me? Like, does she know it was her friend? Like, what was her response?
She doesn't know. The world knows. The world knows because I'm very public. She doesn't know because sometimes when I speak about it, I know she won't watch these things. That's why I say it. The more public things I do, if people pay attention when I do the public things, I say I've been molested and abused. See?
Okay.
I don't say who or when.
Okay.
But she knows when it happened to me as a kid.
Okay.
So that one, if she ever says like, hey, what did you mean by that? I go, oh, I was talking about the time when I was a kid.
Okay.
And the only reason why I haven't told her is because she got cancer. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to tell. And then after that, she got sick again. After that, she lost her sister, lost her niece, almost lost herself again. You know, a lot of things were happening in her life. And I was just like, I would talk to people who have my situation. Like, bro, if you don't want to tell her because of her sickness, like, you don't have to. Yeah. I said, and I'm like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. That's so sad to me that you kept thinking as a little boy, everyone knew. That's so sad that you kept thinking that. And I wonder if all kids think that have been abused, if they think like, oh my God, people must know. Is that like something that you've heard commonly from other victims of childhood abuse?
Oh yeah, it's very common because, you know, I'm a clinician. So I've been working in the field doing therapy with people for about almost 6 years as well. Tons of people I work with that have a similar trauma. The common things are thinking people will leave you because of that, questioning your sexuality, fear of you're going to become the predator next, uncomfortability around kids because you think you feel that people think you're going to do that. You know what I mean? They're very common. I had a guy I was working with and he would never change his daughter's diaper. And his wife was so pissed off because she'd be like, you're such a lazy fucking dad. You don't want to help me out. But he was so afraid to tell her the truth because nobody knew what happened to him as a kid. He kept it a secret.
Oh my gosh.
And so when he told me about it, he was crying. And I was like, well, yeah, dude, like I feel the same way around when I'm around my nieces and nephews. I had to work to that therapy. I'd literally hide in the bathroom because I think my family members think I'm going to do something. And they didn't think nothing. It was in my head until I did therapy on it. And then now I can hang out with my nieces and nephews like no problem. It really does mess up your head.
How do you recommend someone, if someone does say that to you, if they're having those feelings, how do you recommend working through that variety of things that you just mentioned? Like, how did you process to where you don't feel those symptoms anymore or those consequences?
Yeah, I would say, well, first of all, it's like find a safe space to talk about it with somebody who's been through it. Because, you know, not everybody can handle that conversation. I've seen it backfire on me and people try to set rumors about me. I've had that. So I've learned my lesson. So you want to find someone who has a similar story that's working through it to open up to, because you just need to talk about it. That helps. Second thing is go to therapy for it because my therapist helped me out a lot about how to look at it, how to expose myself to it, and how to walk through it. Because sometimes what I've learned is the residue of some of your pain will never go away. It's weaker, but it never goes away because it doesn't want you to forget that pain because you need to know the pain to help others heal their pain.
Okay. Wow. I love that. So did you start doing step work and do the whole 12-step deal with AA?
Oh yeah. I remember doing my 4-step at the spaghetti factory, freaking listening to music, showing the server, look, I'm doing my step work. She has no idea what it is. Because for me, I have daddy issues. So when I got the sponsor, I was like, bro, is this like my dad or something? Like, dude, hell yeah, I'll do the work. I ran through those steps quick. I was like, step 1, you got it. I finished it. All right, let's meet. Did a good job? Yeah, you did really good. I'm like, yes. You know, so I worked through the steps just like that quick.
Yeah. Was that helpful? That was the process of going through step work helpful for you?
Yeah, to me, the 4-step helped me. I think the biggest part for the 4-step, I mean, one, you get to see it, right? Like your part. So your part in the 4-step helped me out the most because I got to see, oh, I'm a piece of shit too in my past relationships. Like I was toxic. I did this. I did that. Like who am I to blame them only? Wow. My dad, it was for me to be able to look at like, you know, my dad grew up with a brother who was a drug addict. I already know what that looks like, coming in with a very, mean mother, you would say, not really emotionally available, makes sense. He did the best he could with what he knew. Like I started to see everything to let that go. Being abused sexually too, molested, that was the heaviest one because what is your part? The part that helped me was my part was holding on to it because it was making me treat people badly, not like in a physical way, but it made me very emotionally reactive because that pain I was holding on to, I take it out on the people that I love. I didn't want to do that no more. So that helped me understand how to let it go because I don't want to hurt people like that. Like I love people. That showed me if you let go of it, you'll be able to receive love and give love in the way that you want to. And so that was super helpful to learn that system for me to move forward.
So you didn't go to treatment?
No, I didn't even know treatment was a thing.
Okay. So you're 25, you're getting clean. What did you start doing like work-wise and job-wise?
I was a bartender.
Wait, how old are you now?
I'll be 31 next month.
Oh, babies, Nate and Fausto. I sound so old when I do that. I need to not do that anymore. I don't know why I keep doing that. So 25, what did you start doing for work and where were you living and stuff?
Yeah, so at that time I was taking care of my mom.
Okay.
So we were living in Fullerton, and the job that I did was I was still bartending.
Okay.
I don't recommend that to anybody. Like the way I went about, again, so what people don't know is the reason why it worked is you got to remember, I became a social media influencer overnight with what I was sharing. So I was like, look, I'm the bartender. I'm sober. I don't recommend it. We're about to go into the bar today and we're going to get through it sober. I'm going to make videos and I'm going to tell everybody at the bar that I am a drug addict, alcoholic. Let's see how it goes. Like literally everything is documented. Okay. So that protected me. Because one, I care what people think. So if I'm telling the world what I'm doing, I'm going to do it.
No, like literally having the podcast, part of why like I've had like kind of a stressful year, but I wouldn't use, I'm like worried about what people would think from the podcast for real. Cause they're like, oh, here's this bitch with her chasing heroin, blah, blah, blah. And she fucking used. I'm like, I'm not gonna let anybody say that. You know what I mean? I care what they think too, you know?
Yeah.
But sometimes it can work. Yeah. So would you say that that was like one of the main ways that you stayed sober at that time was that you had accountability through social media?
100%. If it wasn't for the accountability on social media on top of AA, like I would relapse. Even today, the only reason I'm still sober is because of how big my name is now. Like, and it's a prison that I hate that I put myself in, but also it helps me because I'm gonna go, man, if I hope dealer, now I'm back to the dope dealer. Man, if I go and talk about sobriety, they're gonna be like, bro, shut the fuck up. You got high the other day. If I make any mistake, everything that I do for people will have less of an impact. And that's just the reality. Like if you like exactly right. Let's say you got high on heroin or something. Welcome to the Chasing Heroin podcast. Yeah, she's probably chasing the heroin right now as we speak.
Right.
And everything she says is bullshit. It just sucks, but that's human nature. When you put yourself in the spotlight, you unfortunately are going to make life a lot harder for you because people will judge you. Yeah. They will, and they're waiting for it. They want you to fail because of jealousy and envy. So yeah, having that social media start really kept me accountable because I was too afraid to be the laughing stock.
That's so funny. Well, but I think social media can be like a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, obviously it has its pitfalls. Obviously there are like the known consequences that we all know about making people feel a certain way, whatever. But then there's also benefits like that, you know what I mean? Or like the recovery world. I had no idea that like on TikTok, there was so much recovery content on TikTok. Like I wish I had done it sooner and I didn't. I didn't start until like, you know, later 2020. And I thought I was going to be like revolutionary with my sober jokes. And then I was like, oh my God, everybody is doing this. Way, you know what I mean? And so, but like, that's kind of a cool thing. Cause like, that's what I would have loved to have seen when I was first getting clean. I would have loved to have seen someone like me or like you or like Nate, that's like young and cool talking about being in recovery. You know, like I didn't really see that, you know? And so like that stuff I think can be really cool with social media. So like, what did the next 6 years start to look like for you? Cause now you're like, what transpires over the next 6 years?
Yeah. So my first year I'm bartending, right? Like I said, I'm bartending, I'm doing the Instagram, the Facebook, and I feel like I'm just in this movie. Another thing I picked up was jumping rope. So jumping rope was my physical tool I use in the gym. And again, probably a month sober when I started jumping rope, my jump rope said to me, I had a vision, and my jump rope said, whoever made this rope, you're going to tell him that his jump rope saved your life. Sweet. So I got to jump rope every day then, right? Okay. So I'm jumping rope every day. I'm bartending, you know, doing the social media, the Facebook, and a lot of good stuff's coming out of the social media and Facebook. What happens is I take my first solo trip at 3 months sober. I go to Portland, Oregon by myself because I read a book about, you know, travel alone. So I get this book, this guy's in recovery. I'm like, this is a God shot. Go to Oregon by myself for about a week, have the craziest spiritual experience internally, right? I feel like, oh my gosh, like this is why people travel. So when I get back, I'm just like, man, like what's the next thing? Go vegetarian. I went vegetarian because I read meat gives you bad emotions. I'm like, I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to do it. Go vegetarian. Then I'm like, oh, what's this ice bath therapy? Wim Hof. Okay, cool. Bought an ice tub, started jumping in the ice, doing that. And I was like, what else can I do? And I'm just doing all these things. I'm reading about 5 books a week, self-help. I'm crazy. Like ask anybody who knows me, they'll say, you should see how much he reads. So I'm reading all these books, watching podcasts. And then I start to get tired of working at the bar. And then I go, God, what am I going to do? I don't know. I'm a high school dropout. Like, I don't know what to do. So one of the regulars comes in and goes, hey, you still sober? I go, yeah. He goes, my dad owns a treatment center. Do you want to work there? I'm like, what is that? And do I got to be like a nurse? Like, do I got to go to school? Like, I don't know. He goes, no, you're good. So I get in, get hired. And I knew my first day of work, I was like, dude, this is so fun. You get paid to do this. Like, you know, like they do groups, you're hanging out with them, smoking cigarettes with them, vaping with them, like working out. So I'm like, dude, this is tight. So again, I'm like, all right, God, I see you. So now I'm working in treatment. And then all of a sudden with the jump rope stuff, people are like, bro, you're really good. I'm like, am I? They're like, yeah, dude. Like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Then there's a whole jump rope world on social media, like everywhere. I'm like, dude, this is crazy.
Hold on. Okay. So jump roping, like tricks and shit?
Only 2 people in the world can do what I can do. And one is, you'll see who, and the other one is me. No, in the world, I'm talking about 8 billion people. They can't do what I do.
Like it goes like 10 times when you jump or something like that?
It makes my head spin watching.
Oh, wait,
Fausto.
so you've seen him jump
I've seen
rope?
Fausto. It makes my head spin. It's seriously like it's.
Wait a minute. Okay,
it's something serious.
You are a former meth smoking high school dropout, jump roping bartender. This is crazy. Like, where did you see people jump roping? At the gym? I've never seen anybody jump rope at the gym. Where did you see this?
So one of my cousins on my dad's side, he's completely normal, he had a jump rope, and I want to be like my male cousin. So that's where I picked up the jump rope, but I never did anything with it because I'm partying. So I had the jump rope still in my bag when I got sober. That's the only reason why it was in my bag.
Okay.
And the guy who made the jump rope, when I had that vision, his name is Buddy Lee, Olympic athlete. He was in the Olympics. He's a guy who basically made every rope trick you see. He's NBA. He's in the NBA. I mean, the Olympics, the White House. He's spoken to like 800,000 of people. Like, he's big time famous. You can look him up. I told you I had a vision. I was going to tell him his jump rope saved my life. Remember that? Like at 1 month sober. So at 9 months sober, I'm working in treatment now. Everyone's saying you're really good at jumping rope. What happens is there's this jump rope meetup. The guy who made Floyd Mayweather's rope is flying from the UK to Venice Beach to do a jump rope meetup. So in my head, I'm like, I got to be there, right? Like, this is my moment. Like, I got to go. I didn't even know they did jump rope meetups. So I go to the jump rope meetup in Venice, right? And I get there, and these people are like, oh my gosh, you're, at the time, Sober Faust. You're Sober Faust. You're like that jump rope crazy dude. I'm like, oh, dude, this is tight. Like, okay, what's up? What's up? The main guy goes, hey, we're interviewing people. Can we interview you? So, the camera goes to me, and I'm like, I was raped as a kid, molested, and jump rope saved my life. They're like, whoa. People, most people are like, yeah, I want to lose weight. So like, again, they were like attracted to that though, because like, who's this kid? And so once they did that, we did a jump rope contest. I won the contest. Again, I'm blown away. I'm like, well, this is crazy. Everyone's like, bro, can I touch your arms and your hands? Like, how do you do that? And then the #1 jump rope channel till this day still, they have over like millions of subscribers. They were there to meet with that guy from the UK. So I go, oh, I follow you. They're like, oh, cool. What do you do? And I went, I was molested and, sexually abused, drug addict, alcoholic, trying to kill myself, blah, 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 jump rope and saving my life. They're like, whoa. But then they say, can we do a story on you? I go, on your YouTube channel? Are you serious? They're like, yeah. I was like, holy shit, yes. So I set up the interview at the bar I used to work at. They do the interview. Again, I'm blown away this is even happening. I'm like, dude, you guys are like here. I'm not trying to like fake anything. So that video goes viral. And now the jump rope thing, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. So I met the #1 jump rope channel. I met the guy who made Mayweather's ropes from the UK. Now there's only one other person, the guy who made the rope. We'll see. So a year sober, I'm, making videos on Instagram, working in treatment, doing all that stuff. All of a sudden I get a phone call, and it's the #1 guy in the world, the jump rope guy in the world who made the rope. He goes, I've been watching you for a year to see if you're a real. He's a lot of people will just say they do all these things just for show. He goes, I want to meet you. I'm going to do something in my hometown in Washington, D.C. next month. Can you be there? And I'm like blown away, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. I'm like, I'll be there. Well, I find out it's going to cost, I think, $1,500 for the flight, the hotel, and everything. At that time, I got no money. I'm working in treatment, making $15 an hour. I come from poverty. So I'm pissed. I ruined my moment. I ruined my opportunity. People see me pissed off in the corner after I get off the phone to myself. And they go, why are you mad? I go, this is why. They go, bro, you've helped out all of us. We'll raise money. Within 1 hour, I raise all the money, paid for everything. I fly out to DC, do the jump rope thing. I'm at Benihana's with the number one guy in the world who made the rope. He says, what do you want to ask me? I say, your jump rope saved my life. Shook his hand. And he told me, we were going to pay for you to get out here. But then we saw you post something. So we took a step back that you're going to raise money. And I go, are you serious? He goes, yeah, dude. So that's my first year of just being sober, is all that happening.
That's so crazy. Okay, well, now I have to watch you jump rope on Instagram. I follow you, but I've never seen any of like I'm going to go watch like today because I really want to see you jump rope. That's going to be the name of the episode. I'm going to be like, meet Fausto, the crystal meth smoking jump rope. Something like that.
No, that's just going to be the name of it.
Yeah,
she's
will.
not joking.
Yeah. That'll be something like that. So you have like a lot of clarity. Like the way that you even started your story is this. It's like, I knew there was something wrong with, or like I felt there was something wrong with me because I'd been molested. So I tried to fix it with this. And then I tried to fix it with a tattoo. And then so you're 31, you have a lot of clarity about why all of that happened. How did you start to learn, or when did you start to learn? How did you start to put together that that's why those things were happening and that's why you were finding those types of solutions?
Yeah, I think because I just became so obsessed with understanding why I do what I do. I was obsessed. And like I said, I was reading about 5 books a week when I got sober. So I would read books like okay, I'd be like, okay, I'm codependent. What is that? Okay, I have it. I'm going to buy Codependent No More. It's like as simple as that. Like why not? To me, it's common sense, right?
Yeah.
So I would read the book and I'd become aware of things. And then I would meditate and I would start connecting the dots and journaling like, oh my God, that's why I did that. That makes sense because I still think like that because I'm not fixed yet. So I can see why I was doing that now. So it was just reading books on like social anxiety, depression, codependency, abuse, addiction, and just studying it, meditating on it, and watching my life. Because like I went celibate my first year too, because I wanted to see why I need sex. I wanted to see why I can't be alone. The only way I'm going to know that is if I give it up and then I pay attention to where my mind goes. And so I'm the type of person where I will put something into practice and I'm going to go full in, invest my time and my energy to whatever it looks like to test it. And so having a mindset like that and then working in treatment, I'm constantly hearing things in therapy with people.
Yeah.
And then I became a group facilitator. So now I get to practice what I preach. I get to teach it and seeing it help other people. And I would help out people for free too. I didn't just do it at work or AA. Like that was who I was. I'd pick up people, take them out to eat, just talk. Tell me about you. Tell me about you. Tell me about you. And then I got educated, became a clinician too, went to college, got my master's degree, did all that stuff, became a clinician. Paid attention, went to seminars, paid attention, went to seminars, read, and practiced. So a lot of that stuff was what made me so self-aware. I threw away with my TV. I watched only podcasts. I don't watch any fiction, only nonfiction. And I was studying myself and watching things play out and then seeing how everybody is mostly the same depending on what they've been through. You'll see they have similar things. So that's what made me become so self-aware of that stuff.
What would you say is I have 2 questions. One, what are like some of the books that probably helped you the most? If you have like, I don't know, 2 or 3 to recommend. And then I think it's really interesting what you just said. Most people are kind of the same in terms of what we struggle with. I think that that's true. Like with what? Like what do you see universally that like most people are struggling with what?
I think the biggest thing is a lot of people that are struggling with is a lack of connection. You don't have to be an addict to lack connection, but I think a lot of people lack it because a lot of people don't know that it's okay to express themselves fully. It's a very common thing I see with people. Addicts, trauma, 100%. Everybody has trauma. And they say they don't. If you talk to them long enough, you figure out they do. It just looks different. And I think so that's a common thing I see with a lot of people is just that, and everyone wants to know their purpose. Why am I here?
Yeah.
Most people maybe won't figure it out till the day they die because not a lot of people. So when people grow up with a lot of money and power, they're God. They're God. It's going to take them to spend a lot of money to do everything that's possible to maybe one day realize that it's never enough. People that don't have that much money and all that stuff, and they're not in an addiction, they may go their whole life not realizing that they need a higher power because they were able to have a kid, get the house, go on trips, go here, go there, but in a slow pace because they're not rich. So it took them a long time to actually do it all. So maybe the day they die before they realize, oh my gosh, I need something bigger. People in addiction, we learned it early because if I don't figure this out, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So that's a common thing I see with people is that.
Okay. And then what couple of like books would you recommend? Like, do you have a few that really affected you the most that were like super life-changing?
Codependent No More for codependency, 100%. Mindset by Carol Dweck to understand what a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. Easy read, blew my mind how we think. Another important one is that I loved is the Bible was huge for me, but just reading the simple version that's directed towards the addict. It's like a green book, and reading the book of James and Proverbs for me is so simple. But if you put those things into practice, you realize every self-help book made comes from the Bible. They just word it differently. And I know that because I'm a psychology major and a theology major. So I was able to connect the dots. And I'm like, oh, it's all the same stuff. So, you're open to taking it in. Another one is Who Says You Can't? You Do. And that's what helped me travel alone. Because an addict wrote that book.
The title is Who Says You Can't, comma, You Do?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So if somebody on like the spirituality journey, he's listening. He's looking at you. along spiritual lines, what do you recommend if somebody shows up at the treatment center or someone that you're working with and they're like, I have a real problem with the higher power concept in 12 steps. I'm not, because this is what everybody says, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is the main thing. So what do you say to someone that is saying that and is like super resistant to those words and that terminology in the 12 steps?
Yeah, well, the first thing I would do is I go, give me a little bit of your history. So why are you so resistant? There has to be a reason. And usually it's religious trauma. Okay. So once you understand the resistance, then you can understand the approach. I'm not going to tell you that it's real, that it's not. I'm just going to speak spiritual language to you in the language that you need. That's how I approach everybody when it comes to that. Because I think a lot of times we think if I say it the right way that God is real or explain that God is real in some way, it's going to work. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like if you think about any of us, it didn't work like that. What it was someone loving you where you're at and speaking to you through spiritual words, but speaking it maybe in a secular way to you. And little do you know, because you're still receiving the same spiritual words in a different way, I got to let life take care of you and let it speak to you, because that's the only way you're going to believe it, if it speaks to you in the way that works for you. And that's how I approach it, because the reality is this. If someone goes, he's not real, I go, well, that's illogical. Even people who are very logical, analytical, like engineers and stuff like that, they'll say, yeah, it's true. If you say there is no God, that's illogical, because people who believe in God, we don't know it's 100% real either.
Right.
So it should be 99, let's just say at most. So that's another big thing, just to kind of like take it slow with it. That's the approach. Because that question always gets brought up and stuff like that. So just love people where they're at, the best approach.
Okay, I'll ask Fausto this because one of the things that comes up for me and like this is whether like you have a chaotic life, like you develop substance use disorder, you develop any mal coping mechanisms, which I feel like most human beings, like we develop mal coping mechanisms, whether they get exacerbated to the like the way that we do things to extremities, whether it's eating disorder, substance use disorder, whatever it may look like. A backstory. So I went to this thing and it was talking about like drug use in adolescence, right? And so pretty much they just gave us statistics and they were like, we're investing in prevention and blase, which is like a speaker coming to the school and so whatever bullshit. There's a purpose for that, but I'll make my point in why there's more. But I feel as if, and Fausto, you can talk on this, but what do you think? Do you think your life would have been different if you would have had therapy at an early age? Do you think life would have looked a lot different if you would have addressed that stuff? Like, because I feel as if, like me personally, like going through no, I didn't go through what you went through, Fausto, but I went through like a lot of like, my mom was very narcissistic. I didn't get sexually abused, but she was very narcissistic and like turned me and my brother against my dad. We didn't know who to believe, who to trust and things like that. But I feel it. And so I had those same thoughts too. I thought like everything was my fault that happened between them. Right. So I know what that's like. And I was like, you're not good enough. You're better. Like none of this would have happened. But I feel as if personally, if I would have been in therapy at a younger age, like I maybe life would have looked different. Maybe I would have learned how to process and deal with those thoughts instead of putting something in my body to shut that noise up and to feel some type of way, or deal with my insecurities, or not feeling good enough or worthless, or the anxiety that walking on eggshells all the time causes. You know what I mean? So I don't know, because the point being is like, so I went to that thing and they talked about all that stuff, like drug use in adolescence. They weren't doing anything for kids. There was mental health services. There was no access to therapy. There was no access to medications if they qualified for it. You know what I mean? It was just prevention, which is like a speaker, and they come and talk to kids about fentanyl, and that was just really it. There was no like, okay, well, how do we address these underlying issues? Which what was causing it was the rise of bad mental health in adolescence, which is like through the roof right now. So I don't know. That's my thing.
So your question is, if you think that,
So the question is like, do you think if you would have had access to like mental health services, like whether it's therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, or maybe EMDR for like some of the stuff that you went through, you think that would have like made a difference for you early on in your life?
there's so many ways to answer that question, right? Because you have like for me, like I love therapy, right? I give therapy to people, and I still do therapy myself. And I think the kids would benefit from it 100%. I think the argument might be is, would you be ready for it? Because I did therapy when I did therapy when I was a kid. But to me, I was kind of like, oh, I'm going to therapy. Like, this is tight. Like, this might just be me, right? I'm like, oh, that means I could get some crazy medication. Like, hell yeah, I'll get attention, this and that. Like, maybe I'll say this, maybe I'll say that. Or even some of the things they were telling me as a kid confused me. Like, they're like, oh yeah, that's on your mom. Like, it is? And I was kind of confusing. I was like, oh, that's tight. So I get to just blame my mom. You know what I mean? So I think it is beneficial. And I think also, would I be ready for it? Yeah. Those are like the two things. But I do think that giving that, you should offer that, but have people who could connect with them too, that could give the therapy. I think that's the thing, because the therapist I had was like older women. They're talking to me. They don't really know. So I think maybe that's why. I think if it was somebody more like my flavor spoke to me about those things, I think I'd be more susceptible to take it in and be like, oh, can I keep on coming back and doing this? So I do think that'd be beneficial, because a lot of times what happens is because of politics and everything with schools, and if you come speak on drugs, that means kids do drugs, or parents won't want to pay for their kids to be here and all that stuff. I think all that stuff, they give them sugar-coated type of approach to help these kids. And I'm like, dude, it's so much deeper than that. If anything, it's the fucking parents. You know what I mean? Like, but the parents, will never take that ownership usually. So yeah, I think therapy for the kids, to have people they can relate to, having real people that suffer with this stuff come in on a consistent basis, almost like mentorship or like older brothers, whatever it is. I think that would be so beneficial, because sometimes you need somebody who looks like a badass, who's healed, to mentor some of these kids, not someone who's either still a badass and doing dumb shit that's going to guide you in the wrong way. Sometimes you want that. It's a look that the kids look at. And then if they have the healing and the humility to guide them, I think it could be so helpful.
So what would you say? There was a bunch of stuff you said you're always like trying to work on things. 6 years in. Yeah. What is something that you still work on personally, and how do you do that?
Not killing myself. Every year.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. So fair.
Yeah, every year. So I've been in the spotlight now maybe since I started, right? Like small spotlight, Instagram, Facebook. And then I started speaking at nonprofits and churches. And the Magic House, met Chief when I had 9 months sober. Started doing big events, 100 to 1,000 people, jump rope stuff. I started working with celebrities one-on-one, doing TV show stuff. I got on different magazines. Like, it just started blowing up. And I think every year I tends to get worse and worse, not trying to kill myself. And it's not like I want to, it's just I have to sometimes. That's how it feels like. So every year I'll have this random season that comes up and I'm like, I just want to kill myself, dude. Okay, let me go to a meeting, come back. All right, still want to kill myself. Okay, let me take a day off, still want to kill myself. Oh, wow, my life is so good, I want to kill myself. And it's just like, I feel like sometimes that's my purpose, is to end my life. And it's a constant struggle I get every year. Like the past maybe 2 months have been like that. I'm just like, bro, I'm just tired of this shit. I speak, help someone. Doesn't it matter? They're going to listen or they're not. Okay, bad things happen. Like last year, my cousin died at a freak accident at the gym. Then I had the same freak accident the day we pulled the plug. I had the same freak accident. I was half brain dead for a month. And then a month later, when I'm normal, I go to the funeral, run into the guy who raped me for the first time in 15 years at the funeral. And then a month after that, my aunt has the same freak accident and dies. Then I know I got to run into my rapist again at the funeral for the second time. And you know what I mean? It was just going through fucked up things, realizing like it doesn't really matter how much I speak to people or coach people or counsel people. If they don't want it, they don't want it. And at the end of the day, no matter how much I do, I still have this idea to want to kill myself. It's like, what the fuck? So that's the biggest struggle. And being in the spotlight makes it worse because, for example, let's just say for whatever reason I was to break out with my girl, I'm single, enjoying my singleness, and I like somebody that's part of my recovery circle and it doesn't work out. Now they get spread around. Oh yeah, he just dates people in the circle, he's using people. Let's say I date somebody in my church and it doesn't work. Oh yeah, so you use your power in the church to get with women. It's like there's so much pressure. If I relapse, everything's fucked because I'm about recovery. There's just like I can't make a fucking mistake, and it's just there's a lot of and people setting me up, like I said, to spread rumors and lies to break me down.
That's so interesting. So you feel that pressure that with the spotlight came you're like walking this tightrope of perfection. Does the season that you feel that way, is it around the same time every year?
Different. So 2 years ago, it was during October to Christmas. And then last year it was July to December.
Okay.
And then this year it's been, what are we in? We're in July. It's been like April till about maybe a week ago.
Okay. What do you think that's about? The pressure aspect?
I think I've always felt like this way, right? Because I always ask that question and I can't really find too many people to relate to. Sometimes I can. I just feel like I just feel like an alien. You know what I mean? Like, even though I'm sober, I don't connect to people that are sober, really. Even though I speak, I don't connect to speakers. Even though I'm a counselor, I don't connect to counselors. Even though I jump rope, I don't connect to jump rope. I always feel so disconnected. And I think the more I grow in life, the smaller I have the ability to connect to people. Because if I go to somebody and I'm like, perfect example, if somebody goes, I'm a loyal person, I'll be like, no, you're not, you're codependent. A lot of people can't handle that. And then I go, okay, someone says, oh, maybe they aren't codependent. They're like, yeah, but I'm loyal. I'm like, yeah, you're loyal. But the truth is, people don't come up to you every day trying to hit on you. I'm just being real with you. So you don't get challenged. When I have people who are in the spotlight that get hit on all the time and you're married, I talk to people, I'm like, bro, like, how do you handle this? I feel like every day there's this and that. You got childhood wounds, you like attention, you like affection, you question, am I in the right relationship? And then you're being attacked all the time. You don't know if they want your best interest. Like, not everybody understands that. And so the more I move up, the harder it is for me to connect with my problems to people. And then the more darker people get and the more selfish people get. And then I just feel so fucking alone when I go to AA and I share something. Oh, shut up. You're just being egotistical. Oh, that doesn't matter. Just pray on it. And I'm like, well, thanks.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So how do you cope? Like, how have you coped for the past few months until last week? Because you haven't actually killed yourself. How are you coping?
A lot of it is just probably staying busy, which is not good, right? Staying busy, forcing myself to go to sleep sometimes, going to the gym. Sometimes it's just getting through the day, hoping it's going to pass. Sometimes when I slow down and not burn out, I have a little bit more of a chance at not thinking like that. But what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to create actually a private group for elites that have a place to come to that can talk on those things. And everybody will sign NDAs. You can't talk about it. But just creating something for people like that where you have this community that you can talk on these things, because it's been an issue for me and it's just it's hard to deal with, and I think it needs to be talked about.
Wow. Well, thank you for being so like vulnerable and honest and sharing that, Also, I have to ask, what was the accident at the gym?
Brain aneurysm, stress induced.
Oh, okay. So no, I'm like, did everybody drop a bar? Okay, so they had an aneurysm. I'm like, is somebody dropping a barbell on your head? Like, how is this happening?
So basically, from stress induced caused a grand mal seizure that was caused by the brain aneurysm. So she dropped dead and was brain dead the next day.
Okay.
Then I had a grand mal seizure after leaving the hospital in my car, and I was half brain dead for a month. And then 2 months later, my aunt had a seizure in her room, dropped dead, and she was brain dead.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what does your life look like today? Like, where are you working now? What's like the average like day look like for you? Like, how do you work in your spiritual practice? Like, what does it look like?
So I have a group therapy business where I run groups as an independent contractor with treatment centers. I have a business consulting business where I build out the clinical side of a treatment center, hire the psychologist, the therapist, group trainings, group structure, group culture. I have a life coaching business where I work with people one-on-one. I have a motivational speaker business where I speak places. I have a subscription thing. I have a retreat business. I have secret business stuff. So my life is very.
It's a secret. You can't tell us.
It's a secret business. Yeah, you gotta know someone to know someone to get in.
Okay.
So my day is like Monday I work 9 to 5, hit the gym in the middle of that. After that, I'll have a meeting with somebody. Tuesday I work, hit the gym, go to work, meet with somebody, meet with another person. Wednesday work, phone call with somebody on Zoom, do homework because I'm in college right now still, do some homework, drive to LA, do work, pass out. Next day, go to Palos Verdes, drive all the way out there. I work with first responders too now, building out that program. Do all that, get home late at night, got to do some work. Friday, date night. Always got to have date night. Mandatory, big thing. Anybody that's out there, date night once a week. If you don't do that, don't expect your woman to stay with you. Date night once a week. Do that. And then the weekends, is events, events, church, and my week's constantly like that. But there's days I talk to 20 people on the phone in my car. My girlfriend even said, she goes, dude, you make me feel like I'm not doing anything with my life. I'm like, no, I don't mean to. She's like, how did you meet 20 people today? Well, I had a thought in my head about this one person. So I called them, and then I ran into someone at Starbucks, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you look super cool. I like your vibe. What do? You do that? We need to get coffee. Let's talk business. Let's start a business. My life's constantly like that. Like last week, we did a music video. The week after that, we did a documentary on me. We did a podcast for somebody. Just constantly connecting people, helping people. And to me, always trying to find out, how do I work less, make more money, work less? Because I realize I'm so good at what I do because I'm trauma chasing. My daddy issues of not feeling good enough made me a good entrepreneur, made me a good helper, made me a good counselor. I don't want that no more. It's not worth it. Making a lot of money, I hate it now. I want to do less so I can just chill and go back to the basics of showing up to an AA meeting. Like, I'm just this guy in AA. I help people here. And after this, I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'm going to eat food on the couch. That's what I want now.
Yeah. So how do you manage your time? This is a selfish question because I'm very, very bad at time management. Like, I can't even get a TikTok out to save my fucking life. I haven't done anything in weeks. How do you manage your life? Like, do you have a calendar? Do you use like Google Calendar? Do you have a planner? How do you do this?
So Google Calendar, I always use it. I have everything color coded. For my work stuff is consistent every week, so it's color coded. I plan out 1 month in advance all my meetings with people. And the way I do it is I put them in the slot, so I know if someone asks, hey, can we hang out? I go, if they're spiritual, I say, let me pray on it. If they're secular, let me check my calendar. You know what I mean? I have different ways of going about it because that makes me pause so I can look before I say yes to something. So that really helps me structure it. And I kind of learn what helps me too is looking at the value of my time. So when someone says, hey, can you speak at this meeting? I go, when is it? Okay. That means I got to think about it for 2 weeks. I hope I don't get sick in 2 weeks. That's going to take away time from my girlfriend, take away time from my family, take away time from me. It's not worth it. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm not going to go. So I really value my time. And I understand it's not about me going there. It's what are you taking me away from? So that helps me protect my time. And also when it comes to I think the scheduling too is just knowing what can you realistically handle, which takes time. Yeah. So there's times for me where I mess up. Like July, I messed up because random stuff came up. And now I told myself, August, if anyone wants to hang out, I'm saying no to you. I don't care who you are, how much money you're giving me. No, because it's just, you got to kind of understand is how much energy can you give out and how much energy do you need back? And then I schedule my self-care first and then everything around that.
Do you take naps during the day? I already know the answer is no. Okay.
I wish.
How much sleep do you get at night?
I need 7 to 8 hours a night to be good.
And you actually do that?
I get about 7 hours a day for the most part. Like I'm pretty good at 7 hours a day, but I don't feel good. I need 8 hours to feel good.
Yeah. Dude, I'm in a bad cycle of just binging TV at night and staying up later than I should. And I'm just I'm not disciplined about just fucking turning the TV off and going to bed, I need do you have a nighttime routine that you always do that helps you disconnect?
No, it's more just I just kind of know that if I don't now I know the benefits of sleep. Like it was
Yeah.
almost like so many of my problems that I went to therapy for, read books on, worked out, ate better. It had nothing to do with me. It had to do with my sleep.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so once I just because I was totally against it. I'm like, bro, 3 hours, 4 or 5, I'm good. Like I'm chilling. I don't want to. It doesn't matter. But once I understood how much we need sleep, and I met
Okay.
somebody that I respected, and they did so much for the world. I go, man, how much do you sleep? He goes, 8 hours. I go, 8 hours, and you do. What do you mean? And so it made me look at myself. So once I started
Okay.
sleeping 8 hours a day, and I saw how much of my problems were from my lack of sleep, I protect it now. So I don't really
Okay.
have a routine. It's just I just know like I need to go to bed at this time, no matter
Okay.
what. I'm gonna lay down, turn the lights off, put a podcast on or whatever it is, and I'm just gonna lay down. I'll take melatonin if I need to, or drink some tea. I just know like I need my sleep, and I get pissed off when I don't get it.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favorite podcast?
Ooh, I don't know if I have a favorite podcast, but if I had to choose one to listen to, I really love Jay Shetty's podcast because I love his
Oh, yeah.
vibe. So I love the
Yeah.
questions he asks.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is a good one. I haven't listened to him in a while. Okay. So big question. This
Yeah.
is, and I think I already know the answer to this too. So the audience knows this. I'm super, super grateful that I was an addict. Very, very, very grateful. I wouldn't change 1 second of that, even like the darkest days, because it gave me so much ultimately. Are you grateful for the path that you went down and where you are now?
100%, because the things that I do love to do, I only am able to do it because of how my life was. And if it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't be able to do what I do because the things that I don't need that past to do, I don't enjoy. So I'm super grateful for the pain because I feel like it's always been the thing I wanted to do as a kid. I've always wanted to be a superhero, and I get to be my own superhero to help people.
That's so cool. So if somebody's listening and they are really new in recovery, they have like 30 days or 60 days, what would you say to someone that was pretty new in recovery?
I would say find somebody you want to be like in recovery and hang out with them as much as possible and just do what they say. Simple as that. Just follow their direction and God will take care of the rest, whatever that looks like. I tell people if you do that, you start to believe in yourself because they believe in you, then you can do anything you want in life. And it's not what I want you to do. It's not what your sponsor wants you or those people. It's whatever you feel you need to do. So whatever you see in your imagination is a preview of your future. That imaginary thing you see here for a good life, if you hang around somebody who has what you want, before you know it, you're going to have that life. It's a side effect. So that's what I tell people to do.
And where can everybody find you if they want to connect with you more?
Hope Dealer Fausto on Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me. You can shoot me a message. I'll get back to you when I can. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Sometimes it looks like I'm on it, but I'm not because I got ADD. So I might just be clicking it to kill time and I have no idea where I'm at. And then I'm launching a affordable counseling program for $9.99 a month. You get all these private videos that I'm going to do for that because not everyone can afford therapy. So it's to make it affordable for people, super cheap, and you're going to learn how to get sober, how to stay sober, how to live sober, how to find power in your story to open up doors to live your best life, and teach people like how I was able to go from this poverty kid to this successful kid to find purpose in your pain. I mean, there's so many things I want to give and like secret podcasts that people can't listen to on YouTube that we'll put out there just to kind of give people this community.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. This
Yeah,
was
thank you, Fausto.
awesome. I'm
Yeah,
so
thank
glad
you.
we got to connect.
Yeah, thank you, Fausto.
Oh, do you know who Gratitude Ropes is? Gratitude Ropes. Her name is Carly.
Gratitude ropes.
She was a client of mine at my studio, and she has a jump rope line also called Gratitude Ropes. She's in San Diego, so I thought
No
maybe you would.
way.
Yeah,
Maybe if I saw her Instagram, I might be like, okay, I've seen her on there before.
yeah. Okay.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Yeah.
So what's your biggest struggle in this season of your life? And what do you need help with to get to the next level in your future?
My biggest struggle right now, I have a few, would probably be my time management. Like I have a really serious, like legitimate issue with scrolling on social media and going into that place to not like deal with things or move forward with my life. Like it's an actual, I mean, I guess it's probably become like an addiction maybe, but it doesn't feel like an addiction because it doesn't cost me anything. I don't do you know what I mean? Like, but it definitely takes away from my like time management. And I have this fear of like with the podcast, I need to like grow it and take chances and like ask people to be on. And I'm like afraid to do that and really like put myself out there a lot. And I'm thinking that there's more of a confidence issue with me than I ever like realized, you know? And so like I need like some sort of like structured way. And then I recently, this is new, I just started having some regret about selling the studio, like kind of a lot. I had this gym in Encinitas that was beautiful and I sold it. And like in the past few days, I've been like, oh my God, maybe I should have grown that brand more. You know what I mean? But I can't do anything about it's over. But so that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's more shit than that, but I'll start with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about for you, Nate?
I mean, I'm just like coming out of like being burnt out. I mean, I'm like you, like for the last 2 years, I just went like so hard, like helping people, advocacy, policy, just like running around, traveling to LA and to San Diego, and then like doing all this stuff, working in Mexico and stuff like that. And so I'm like just now coming to like the other side of like being burnt out and like everything that went through that. And so I'm like slowly like getting back involved with the work I do, just like doing that. But it's also like I'm trying to navigate like financial insecurity, you know, because the work that I do now does not pay me enough to survive, you know? And so I'm like literally like, it's two bad things happen, I could be homeless, you know what I mean? So it's like, do I leave the space? What do I do? I think I have it figured out right now, you know, but like for the last year and a half or so, I've like, that's like been on my plate, you know, it's like being like financial security, you know, I mean, obviously like what I do for free. So I'm just like trying to think like, do I do clothes? Do I like, what do I do on the side to like make more money, you know, because like I work full time now and it doesn't pay all my bills, you know what I mean? So it's just like, so, you know, that's something that definitely keeps me up and like keeps the brain running, you know what I mean? Other than that, I don't know. I get traumatized daily, like being in the streets. So I mean, I see people die, see people with like infections that, you know, and people get raped, you know, so it's like dealing with that.
What made you ask us that?
Well, I believe that everybody always meets for a conversation, you know, seeing how we can
Well,
help
that's
each other
fair.
out. You know, that's how anytime I'm with people, I always ask like, you know, what do you struggle with and like how can I help? 'Cause I believe that, you know, we always have, whether it's a piece of advice, whether it's a person, whether it's encouragement, I always think, you know, we meet each other to get through that season. So that's why I think a lot of people need to do that more too. But I've always been like that, to ask people, you know, like what it is and stuff like that.
What would you say to it? What advice would you give us?
Well, it makes
Based on
sense.
what-
Yeah. So for you, it makes sense why you ask so much of that time management questions with me, right? Because
Yeah.
that's kind of like your thing. So yeah, I think for you, you know, I think you are right, right? I think life is trying to show you like, hey, these are things you need to look at, because if you want to get further in life, you need to fix these things or figure out how to navigate these things. So for you, what I would say is, do you know your personality type on Myers-Briggs?
No. Mm-mm.
Figure that out. That will help you
Okay.
understand how to work with your time management that's actually going to work. 'Cause sometimes we can try to
Okay.
do something because other people do it and it won't work for you based on how your brain is built.
Interesting. Okay.
So like for me, I'm scattered. Google Calendar works for me, but other than that, nothing does. What I do is I get people who can do that for me.
Okay.
I just know I can't, and I'm okay with that now. I know I'm Mickey Mouse. I need a Walt Disney, and I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I think for you selling your studio, that, you know, I think that is right. I think it is a fear, right? You let go of something, but sometimes when we let go of something, it might be the right time, but a part of us isn't ready to let go, and that's okay. And I think you're stepping into a good place, because everything happens for a reason. So I believe that even if you think you made the wrong choice, I think you made the right choice, and more will be revealed. I think it's just being around people who uplift you like that while you're in this new place, figuring out what's next. Because that's a scary place to be sometimes. You know, what's next?
Yeah.
And then for you, Nate, too, with the burnout, that's a sad truth, right? And what we do for work, like, you're not going to get paid a lot. And even though it's fulfilling and it's good, there's also like, I need to like pay my bills and I need to live. And I think that's where for you is where you got to learn how to set boundaries, do less so you can figure out, how do I make more money, right? Figure out exactly how much do you need to make more extra. And then, so you, because sometimes we think so big, right? Oh, I need to make this much more money the next step. Where am I going to get that? Instead of going, how much do you make now? can you work less and still make that amount of money if you set boundaries? And then what can you do on the side that you like to do that will make a little bit more money so you can figure out the next phase of your life? But I think boundary setting is a big, because what I've learned is people will take advantage of you because you do things.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, and it's not a bad thing. It's just, that's who you are now. Like, we know he will show up. But the problem is that, you know, the reality, we try to save the world and we need to save our own self. And usually, are you in a relationship?
Yeah.
And then the sad thing is our partners suffer the most how we live our life. And it's not cool. And I struggle with it. I got FOMO. And so I think for you, dude, it's about setting boundaries and really taking care of you. Because the reality is all those people will turn their back on you. And you're right. The homeless thing, if you're that close to getting homeless, something bad happens, like something bad is going to happen, dude. You know, and it's like, you don't want to be in that position to do that, but it's going to be tough. You need people who do what you do, but are on the other side to kind of like talk to you a lot. Because a lot of people will be like, bro, you're crushing it. You're killing it, bro. Keep on going, man. Look at you. Narcane Nate, bro. Best life ever. Because from online, it looks like you're rich. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, people think I'm rich all the time, bro. I'm like, where the fuck does this come from? Because like we talked about this on the phone, because I'm in the studio with somebody, like they don't pay me shit. Or if I some rapper, like they don't give me no fucking money. Like the richest people I know have gave me the least amount of fucking money. Like it's usually like poor people that donate to me. They're like, I don't know where the fuck this money comes from. Like, why do they think that? It blows my mind. I'm like, I'm not fucking rich.
Well, you got to remember, people are living through the Instagram world, right? So on Instagram,
Right.
both of you guys from Instagram, one, Nate, you look rich as fuck, living your best life. You got no problem, man. I'm like, damn, like this guy's in the green room everywhere, fucking traveling the world probably, hanging out with 50 Cent, who to Eminem, right? That's what you see. Okay, so he's good. And then I look at you with your podcast. To me, I would never know you're disorganized or bad time. I'm like, bro, she's crushing it. She's probably making a ton of money off her podcast. Look at her. She's at the gym, probably has all these clients everywhere. Everyone probably wants to work with her. She's just crushing it, driving around in a Bentley or a Beamer with this giant house on the beach, freaking no problems, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why people see that. The reality is like, so people treat us like that. They don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I
Right.
think having people who do what you do to be real with you guys will help. Because like for me,
Yeah.
how I make my money is, so $15 an hour I was making, right? So that's nothing, right? That's how I started. I was like, crap, dude, how am I going to survive with this? This is in California, right? So what I did was okay, go to college. You can make more money if you still want to do this work. So I went to college and then got a job as I'm in college for 19 an hour. Okay, $4 more, cool, while I'm in college. And I said, once you graduate, you can make 21. That's what they said. I was like, okay. Then as I one day got a job somewhere else before I graduated college, they wanted me somewhere else being a counselor. So I lied. I go, oh, this place pays me 24. So if you want me, I want more than that. I just lied. So they gave me more than that. I was like, oh shit, it worked. Okay, now I'm making more money. Finish school, get my degree. And then this place didn't want to give me more money with my degree. I was like, shit. So this is where I cap out. $25 an hour full time, trying to pay car payment, all that stuff is not enough. But people thought on Instagram, because I had a big following, they probably thought, oh, this guy's rich. He's a jump rope guy. He's a I'm like, bro, it's all like, you know, it's all free. I got, I'm doing cool shit, but I'm not making money, but people view that. No. So what I did was I said, okay, crap, how do I make more money? I was always focusing. And I saw people doing group facilitating, $100 an hour. So I went, well, okay, let's try it out. I'm just going to say I've done this. I do it, but never done it as a business. Started doing that. And then I figured out that I can handle 15 a week at 100, 125. So, you know, that's like, I don't know, $615 to like $1,800 a week, which is cool, right? That's cool, right? But then there's taxes. So don't fuck up that. So then as I'm doing that, the reality is 15 groups is too much. So again, I go down to 13, go down to 12. Then I'm like, after taxes is still not a lot of money. So then I started business consulting. $10,000 a month I'll charge you to build your program. Again, I made it up. I'd never done it. I don't know. I'm just going to say that I've done it. Opportunity came, did it, made good money doing that, and stopped doing that. But I always found ways to make money like that to put away, because and then what I had to do though is slow down from service. And it was hard because I was like, oh, this is what AA is about. But AA is about AA. It's not about the world. And AA also is about, you can help one person and that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. So I had to understand that. And I had to see that just because I stop doesn't mean that the blessings are going to stop. And so, so I had to do that to make money. And that's why I'm always trying to figure out different ways to make money, because that's just, people will take advantage of you.
Right. Totally. Well, that was helpful. I appreciate that.
No,
I feel like
thank
I
you.
got like a little mini counseling session.
Yeah. And just know you guys are in a good place right now, I think, because you're aware of these things. So yeah, just find people. I think you have to find new people in this season of your life to make time for. Even if it's a phone call, hang out with. Sometimes we want to hold on to our old friends, but our old friends are keeping us where we're at. And that's okay. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's just that we have different needs. And so sometimes, like Chief, I'll tell you what, Chief is my father figure, amazing. We do events every week, but Chief has zero boundaries. And I learned that down the road. They're like, yeah, bro, he has no boundaries. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, you can't live like that. He does, but that's not normal. His wife lets it happen, but that's not normal. I go, oh, no
I
wonder
don't know
why.
how I got it.
Oh, I know, dude. That's what I'm saying. He's like next level. So once I met a new mentor who was all about boundaries, I'd be like, yo, dude, what book do I read this week? He goes, take a nap. I go, what? Go get some sleep. Take your girlfriend out. I'm like, no. Like, what can I learn? He goes, exactly. Take a nap and take your girlfriend out this week. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So see, I had to get somebody new to teach me a new way of living because he said, look, dude, you need boundaries with your girlfriend, with your life. Sheep doesn't have boundaries. So don't follow that anymore. It helped you in a season, but now you're in a season where you need different people. So new people, I think, will help you for this season of your life.
Wow. I love that. That's really helpful. Well, do you have anything?
No. Oh, also, Fausto, I remember. I don't know when you first went on social media, but I figured I would tell you this. I think I first seen you on social media because my Mickey met you, and I seen your stuff on Mickey's social media. That was like 2018.
Yeah, because he came into my detox at the time when he had 1 day sober, and then I hung out with him. Yeah.
Where I got sober at one time in Knoxville, Mickey
Okay.
came through the treatment center. Me and Mickey were like friends and stuff like that. I think he might have done like a couple visits there.
Okay.
And then I came out to California, and then Mickey came out to California, and then I seen Fausto on Mickey's social media, and that was like 2018. So that was like the first time I like seen Fausto.
Because what does he call you,
Yeah.
Schmitty?
Yeah, it calls me Smitty. Yeah, that's my last name. So yeah.
He's like, oh, you know Schmidt. He's like, you know Schmitty. I'm like, who's that? He's like, oh, Narcane Nate. I'm like, you know him? I'm like, oh yeah, from home.
Yeah, and Mickey's doing really good. Like he came out here, like great, killing it. Like
good.
crushing it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, dude. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys too for the time, the energy, the conversation. I needed this, so I appreciate it. This is actually really fun and very stimulating, and you guys are really good people.
Oh,
and
thank you, bro.
thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for sharing and allowing this to happen. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Fausto. Yeah, thank you so much.